We got some Shippo, we got some Thunder Brothers this week. We are also going to go very fast this week because Al is in just dire needs. So
Dire needs.
this is going to be a very quick episode this week. But hello, welcome to this week's episode. Jared and Al watch Inuyasha. It is episode number 9. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium.
Hello.
We are watching season 1, episode number 9, called Enter Shippo plus the amazing Thunder Brothers.
The Thunder Brothers.
So yes, we meet Shippo this week.
Yeah, we get to talk. We had a quick conversation about like time paradoxes because we start in a cemetery with cup noodles.
Yeah, so basically Kagome brought over some noodles for Inuyasha and Myoga to eat, and Inuyasha's like, oh, these are pretty cool, like, you can make them real quick and everything. I was ashamed that she did not have the fun ramen timer from, like, this weird PSP game, which is just it's a ramen timer, but it's just a dude flexing at you, and he just goes,
Yeah.
ramen time, or something like that.
Oh my god.
That's
I
all he
want
says.
that.
It's fantastic. But yeah, they're just eating cup noodles, and Kagome's like, yeah, these are made in Japan. They were made for, like, astronauts to eat in space, but then they became, like, free for the public to eat. And they're like, we went to space? What? They're like, yeah, we went to the moon on a rocket. It's all cool and stuff. But, like, the thing I was questioning is that, like, Kagome keeps bringing all this, like, stuff from the present times back to the feudal era. That's gonna, like, do some time paradox stuff if I have seen any time travel shenanigan stories and all that sort of stuff. But, like,
And
they're just like,
we have seen that
whatever, who
before.
cares?
Yeah, like I said, they talk about that a bit in Yashahime that at one point they're eating apples and why am I blanking on her name? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The main girl is eating the apple and then she tells the guy she's with, like, hey, give me the core of that. I have to put it in my bag because if I leave it here, the seeds might fall out, it might plant, and then we got apple trees and we can't have that right now. So and then like the episode even or the series even starts with time paradox that she's trying to prevent with her history book.
See, I think I would respect it more if they just did not bring it up at all. They were just like, man, who cares?
I think it's
We don't
hilarious.
want to get into that. Like, that opens up a big can of worms. We
And
are
she stops
not.
caring after a while.
Yeah, so there you go. So they're having their noodle lunch in the graveyard because that's where you eat noodles apparently. And then the sky goes dark, and then a big, like, whirly thing shows up, and then a big pink thing shows up, and Yasha's like, what the heck is this? Get out of my face, because it wants the Shikon jewels. Apparently no one in this episode knows how to pronounce Shikon, because Shippo shows up and he calls it, I texted it to you, let me see what I texted.
Shitcon.
The Shikon jewel. And then the other guys were just like the, like, Shekon jewel or something like that. Like, no one could pronounce Shikon. It's just very weird. But either way, yeah, he shows up. He's like, he wants the jewel and everything. And then Inuyasha slaps him away, and then he turns into his regular Shippo self, which is very tiny. He's like, what are you? He's like, I'm a fox, man. He wants the Shikon jewels because he wants to avenge his father's death. His father was killed by the Thunder Brothers.
The Thunder Brothers.
Which we get, like, a thing of, like, here's the Thunder Brothers doing stuff, and they just mess up a bunch of dudes. And then the one dude just wears Shippo's dad as, like, a waistband, and that's kind of messed up.
It's really messed up.
Also,
It's really messed up.
they have shards of the Shikon jewel embedded in their foreheads, so they're more powerful than, most other enemies and everything, all that sort of stuff. Inuyasha does not like Shippo. He just beats the crap out of him the whole time, and then just, like, put statues on him because that's how Shippo gets back at Inuyasha. A whole bunch of stuff. So eventually Shippo tries to, like, steal the jewel and everything, but they get it back, and then he tries to steal it again, and he runs off into, like, a swampy area, and there's one of the Thunder Brothers, and he's like, hey, I'm looking at my hair and everything. Oh, look at this little dude. Oh, it's a little fox just like your dad, blah blah blah. Kagome shows up.
You like the belt that I'm wearing,
Yes.
your dad?
Kagome shows up
It's nice, right?
and shoots the dude in the nose, and he's like, oh, my nose. He's got a
And then
cool
just wears
septum
it for the
piercing
rest
now.
of the episode. Yeah.
Yeah. She shoots him in the forehead, but it just bounces off, and then he loses 2 of his hairs, and then he shoots a big old electric attack at him, and then knocks out Kagome, but Shippo's able to get away, but Kagome gets kidnapped, and then Shippo has to go back to Inuyasha and be like, hey, can you come help me? They took Kagome. He's like, yeah, I'll help you. He's like, all right, just don't hit me anymore. And then Inuyasha, he gets the statue taken off him, and then Inuyasha just beats the crap out of Shippo again.
Yeah, it was worth mentioning that he did get a statue put on his hands so he couldn't move, and then Kagome ran off, so no one could unstatue him. He asked a guy passing by, and he was just like, "Nope." And then he asked Miyoga. Miyoga's a flea, so.
Can't pull off a sticker. So Kagome gets taken back to the Thunder Brothers' lair. The one Thunder Brother who wants to make her into like a hair tonic is like
Yeah, I was
making
like,
the tonic.
girl soup.
Girl soup. And
Mm.
then she's like, I don't want to become a tonic. That's real messed up. He's like, well, if I leave you for my brother, he'll just eat you alive. And then the other brother shows up with this lady and he's like, who's this girl? He's like, oh, I'm gonna use her to make hair tonic. He's like, okay, whatever, I don't care. I got this other lady now.
Get her hammer hammers out.
She's got her hammer hammers out, and then the other brother's like, oh, I found some Shikon jewel, but then I lost it. So the other brother just murders this girl immediately. She's like on screen for like a minute, and then she turns into a big pile of ash. Kagomi's like, oh, I could take you to Inuyasha. He's big, strong, and handsome. He's got the jewels. He's got a lot of them. Really, he's been collecting them, and he'll definitely come and save me and exchange the jewels because we're lovers and everything. So that's the plan, and they're like, well, if you're lying, we're going to turn you into ash as well. Inuyasha is taking Shippo through whatever path they're going on, and he's just like carrying the bike with him instead of riding it, which I thought was very funny because obviously he wouldn't know how to ride a bike, but he just decided he needs to carry the bike with him, which is
way faster anyway.
Yeah, it was just very goofy.
We also get the line of "She ain't my woman."
She ain't my woman. So eventually, Inuyasha and Shippo are arguing, and then the one Thunder Brother shows up and attacks them, and he's like, oh, it must be Inuyasha. We've got you a lover. Give us the jewels. And Inuyasha's like, what? We're not lovers. What are you talking about? That's not how this is. So him and Kagome get into an argument, because of course they do. And then the Thunder Brother attacks Inuyasha, so he has to pull out Tetsaiga and block it, and they have a stare down at the end, and basically that's how we end the episode. We're gonna have a big showdown next time. Mm-hmm. The big fight with the Thunder Brothers. But yeah. Let's talk about some notes and differences very quickly.
Okay.
Before we get on out of here. Notes: Inuyasha is shown to not be bothered by seeing the aftermath of a battle, even eating at such a sight, which I didn't think they were like at the aftermath of a battle. I thought like the battle had already ended because there's a bunch of skulls and stuff, so they were just like in just a weird graveyard. But also he just didn't care because like he's just whatever, who cares?
Yeah, I mean like if it were actual corpses, I think it'd be one thing, but skulls are less disgusting when you're in that kind of world. As
a joke, amongst the items Shippo tosses out of Kagome's bag is an Inuyasha book.
Okay, that's actually funny. I didn't realize that.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
The place where the Thunder Brothers live makes a reappearance in episode 68. Spoilers.
Whoa.
I'm totally going to remember that by the time we get to that like next year. In the manga, the chapters comprising episodes 9 and 10 do not take place until after the chapters of episode 11, so just a little flip-flopping of the source material, which that happens sometimes.
That happens.
Differences from the manga: Miyoga commenting on the many conveniences of the modern age, and Kagome going into the detail about them is exclusive to the anime. Interesting.
Wait, they don't learn about going to the moon in the manga.
The scene of Hitan and Montan, those are the Thunder Brothers, slaughtering the two armies is much more graphic in the manga and depicts Montan eating the arm of a soldier, which, again, I feel like that's just a common theme going through this, is that the manga is much more graphic in terms of what they show, which makes sense. Like, you're going for an anime adaptation, you're going to skew it a little less graphic because you want more people to watch it.
Right.
In the English dub, Kagome tells Inuyasha to admit how much he is really in love with her, whereas in the manga and original Japanese dub, this line never happened. English dub taking liberties.
Yeah.
How Hitan kills his date is altered from the manga. He fries her to death in the anime while smashing her face in the manga.
It's not even a smash. I looked it up, and he punches through her head. Like,
holy
you can see his fist coming out of the back of her skull.
That is a little intense.
She also has nipples.
Rumiko Takahashi was just like on one when she was making Inuyasha.
She's like, everybody's gonna be brutal. Everyone's gonna just.
She was just getting her violence out. Like, I don't know how violent Rama 1/2 is, but like some of the stuff like that we've at least heard about that is involved in the manga just seems like excessive.
Yeah, no kidding.
But that's going to do it for this episode. Next time, we will be discussing Season 1, Episode number 10, which is called Phantom Showdown, The Thunder Brothers versus Tetsaiga, which is going to be a great thing that I have to type out. Love to see it. We're gonna see the showdown between Inuyasha and the Thunder Brothers,
And hopefully I feel better.
and hopefully Al feels a lot better. Uh, So that's going to do it for this week's episode. If you would like more from us, go to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or sac.cool is where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Language Checkup, Season Language Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you want more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/anime checkup. You can buy our books, One Shining Moment, A Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And that's
Breathe.
it. We're out of here. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.